everybody. Welcome to my stream. I am Purblind Gamer. I'm a retro slash variety streamer. And I continue in my quest to figure out the best way to play games and while making them large enough for me to see and stream them. I promised I would start a longer adventure game at some point. So today I'm going to be starting Scratches, which is an extremely good first-person horror game from 2005 or 2006. It was developed by a small team, and now it was available for a good while on Steam and GOG, but now it's being removed from both for several years. Fortunately, I have a CD-ROM of it, and it works pretty well in Windows 10. It's runs in a fixed resolution, and yeah, it runs smoothly and everything. I've played it before. It's a fun game, but I've been meaning to play it again, and hopefully you all will enjoy it. Oh yeah, this was the only way I could figure out to set up a camera so you could see me, because I've got to zoom in weird ways to make the text big enough to see, and basically I'm only a couple inches away from the screen. And you'll notice the nice giant monitor in the background, but unfortunately modern laptops don't have those, what are they, VGA ports? Those big ones. So since this monitor is from 2010, it doesn't do me a great deal of good. Anyway, on to the game. Another good haunted house game, like 5 Days a Stranger, which I played a while back. Well, not exactly haunted. Perhaps we should say as little as possible. Yeah, and there is a DLC in this Director's Cut edition, which I never played. Perhaps after I finish the main game. Photos from a distant past. The fountain? Someone got creative with their camera angles.
I arrived at Blackwood Manor one cold Saturday morning amidst a thick veil of fog. The weather didn't look good, and there was an unnatural calm surrounding the area, yet I soon became entangled with the place.
Entangled. Arrival at the manor. cloudy sky above me seemed rather unsettling and almost made me lose my balance. I felt a curious urge to run for shelter, and my new home in the distance seemed very inviting. Surely I could left-click to move around. It was the boot of my car, which... That's curious. I wasn't facing the car, was I? There. Imposing main gates, regarding the entrance to the manor. Even if I wanted to leave, I could not. It seems to be just telling us how to play the game. Easy enough to control. Remember. Yes. We need our house key. While looking closely at a certain object, I'm not reading the tutorial. Well, I guess we better run for shelter, as he said. Standing there in front of the door made me realize I could right-click to open the inventory. Fortunately, we wouldn't want anybody wandering in here. Now I could see that I was carrying the key that my good friend Jerry gave me, and my good friend Jerry said to right-click on the key, or something very much like that. And we're in. A majestic grandfather clock was gradually ticking nearby. It was almost sleep-inducing. Yeah. Let's grab the phone. Wait, where's... it was louder here. Okay, is there something wonky with the movement? There. I suppose they'll call back. A huge urn of oriental craftsmanship standing by the window. this? I seem to be unfortunately slow. The dining room. Intended to brighten up the place, but to my surprise, the lights wouldn't work. A generic standard lamp. Looks more like a chair to me.
Hello?
Michael, it's me.
Hey, Jerry. It's good to hear your voice.
I see that piece of junk you got there is working.
My thoughts exactly. I was afraid it'd fall apart as soon as I laid my fingers on it.
So how did you find everything? Do you like the place?
It's hard to tell yet. I'm very impressed, that's for sure.
You sound odd. Is everything okay?
Yes, it's perfectly fine. It's just that I'm in awe. I mean, pleasantly surprised. This house is like a dream come true.
So you do like it? You got me worried there for 1 second.
I'm telling you, I'm going to turn this place into a factory of horror stories.
Good. You ought to finish that book. I'm rooting for you, mate. You sure everything is in order?
Everything seems to be fine, except the lights don't work.
Oh, you don't have to worry. I forgot to tell you. I had an electrician, one that I trust, to meet you there this morning. You know how a lack of power can be a recurring issue in old places like that. He should be arriving soon.
That's good to know. I'll set up my stuff and let you know how everything does later.
Perfect. Have fun. And don't forget to stop by the gates to meet that guy.
Sure.
Wonderful. So we're a horror writer. Let's do a touch of exploring, shall we? It's what I always do when I move into a new house. Not that that happens that often. I remembered what Jerry said. A nice room had been prepared for me upstairs. I wonder if that's a famous picture. Oh Lord, this light is causing a frightful glare on my screen. My luggage was feeling heavier by the minute. Too fancy for me. I don't think this is the room that was prepared for me. Looks a little feminine. I had a curious feeling of having missed something. I had to find a good spot to leave my luggage. Okay. Nice, they're giving us hints. So I'm assuming we'll have to go back to that room, but first, I wonder if somewhere to set my luggage down. I was unusually surprised after entering this room. It was some kind of gallery, and its theme being African culture. We'll have to nose about there a little later. Yes. Soon enough, you'll be able to put your luggage down, and then you'll be able to be quiet about it. Oh, this is the bathroom. Oh, there's a door here, isn't there? I quickly realized this had to be my room. I didn't finish that thought because I was too busy complaining about my luggage. Oh, right. The power. A beautiful oak desk was standing against the window with an extraordinary and inspiring view. Put my luggage here. A side table, perhaps. What did I bring with me? The #1 bestseller, the most breathtaking page-turner of the year. A passing traveler comes across the small town of Fetch Rock, set in Cornwall, England, only to find that it's completely deserted, devoid of any signs of life. Houses, shops, town hall, church, no human being to be seen. The traveler informs the authorities of a nearby town with this fantastic event. The next day, an officer accompanied by 2 policemen visits Fetch Rock, except everything is back to normal. 10 years later, John Parker, a journalist, reluctantly accepts the assignment to investigate these strange events, as they have now grown into a persistent local legend. Could it have been a practical joke by that anonymous traveler? Or did something truly strange take place in the vanishing town? Things become more mysterious when Parker learns no inhabitant of Fetch Rock remembers what happened on that day. What seems to be a lousy job for Parker eventually turns into a nightmare, as Fetch Rock is no ordinary town, but home to deadly secrets and a lurking evil. And then a bunch of people praising our great work. It actually sounds like a book I might like to read. Too bad it's not real. Michael, it took me months, but at last I think I managed well. I mean think, so to speak, as there are only very few details left, but I can confirm with certainty that the house is yours. I owe you an apology because I didn't think it'd take me that much time. I tell you, I'd never thought that finding a Victorian house, and no more and no less than in Rothbury, would have been so hard. The majority of the old houses in this region are either impossible to live in, or they belong to the aristocracy. And as if that wasn't enough, you and your bloody wishes. Was it really necessary being so cut off from town? Why all this sudden need for solitude? Well, as long as you don't become one of those typical hermit riders. Anyway, this beauty will take your breath away. It belonged to a wealthy family that always took great care of it. Around the mid-60s, it became the property of one person, I believe the friend of the family. He lived there for about 5 years or so and then abandoned it. Yes, you read right, abandoned it. As far as I know, this lunatic, a renowned doctor, spent his last days getting drunk in lousy bars before vanishing from the face of the earth. Why someone would do that is beyond me. The house then became the property of the National Trust, and surprisingly enough, no one ever did anything about it. That is, until I rescued it from oblivion, of course. It took a lot of work, so I hope you like it. The place is just as we discussed earlier. I know it's hard to believe, but the price of the interior was never agreed upon. So whatever you find inside, be it furniture or long-lost Rembrandt, it's yours. Just remember our deal. If you find anything of great value, you have to share it. Now, I won't bother you if your sofa collection happens to be valued in the thousands, but if you bump into a hidden cache of money, and you can never know really, then I want a piece of it. Wait a second. If you happen to sell any important item you find inside the house, such as your sofa collection, I have to get a part too. Business is business, my friend. By the way, I sent 2 people over yesterday to clean it from top to bottom. 6 years without inhabitants must have left a nice coat of dust, don't you think? They couldn't do wonders, though, and you're going to need weeks to fully clean the place. Oh, they told me the house seems to have a rat problem, but you can't have it all. Should you need anything, don't hesitate to give me a call. Your friend, Jerry. So good of him to find this house for us. Barbara. Is everyone else crossed out? Hopefully they won't make me remember that. Is that? I thought maybe we could pick up the photo. Don't believe there's anything else I need in here. Oh. What did we get? Huh? I'm not quite certain. Who's that? It is the typewriter. I was eager to start doing some work, but the idea of exploring the place was too tempting. What's this? The ending. I have to come up with a suitable ending. The final twist was the most celebrated aspect of VT. It will tear me apart if I don't pull off another thing like that. But how? It's up to the point where Steve goes mad. She is confused. The visions are becoming real. So now we know for sure there's a supernatural element in the story. Wait, is that really so? Question is, does it have anything to do with the creepy old lady or not? Would it be too obvious if her powers were real after all? Big question. Would people accept it if the solution to the story is unreal? Damn, why am I trying to please everybody here? No, something's crossed out. No devils. I don't know. On the other hand, a realistic solution disguised as supernatural. Is that possible? They are expecting something like that, a real and probable outcome. That's what they loved in VT. Bloody hell, this is driving me insane. What else is around here? It's too early to go to bed. Another painting. I grabbed the stethoscope. It was about the only useful thing in the bag. It's a rather interesting drawing. Medical science. The books in this room were rather boring. No horror novels. Unbelievable. Yes, this was the room that it said we missed something in. Oops. Bed. I was trying to look in the mirror. It just says the same thing. I swear it seems to be warping me around a little bit when I'm clicking on things. They're not lining up properly. Romantic novels and history books. A diploma was displayed on the shelf. It appeared that the people who lived in this house were very educated. Bed. Oh, damn your bed. I don't know what all that's about. Yes, I missed something, but I couldn't figure out what. I knew I would come back to that room eventually. I did live in this house now, after all. Refamiliarize myself with the house's geography a bit. It has been a while since I played this. The drawer was stuck beyond hope. Ah, the kitchen. The door of the oven was firmly stuck in place. Plenty of kitchen utensils in the house, but none that I could pick up. Seems you can't open the cupboards. And maybe that's for the best. If this were like Layers of Fear, I would be tempted to open every cupboard, and there would be about 5,000. Apparently the water wasn't running. Cutlery and such. I guess there are only 2 drawers. The interior of the refrigerator was begging for some serious cleaning, not to mention a powerful disinfectant. Wonder if that food's been in there all that time. Is it 6 years since the doctor disappeared and this house has been empty? Another bedroom. The bed in this room was miserable looking. Photography. Shots of the trees around the house. Exquisite, albeit aged, candelabras. Nothing much in there. It looked like whoever stayed in this room loved photography. It was just some useless junk. empty. Ah, it's those pictures from the intro. They're unusual angles. I must have climbed up on a ladder to get that one. The smell coming from the toilet prevented any further investigation. The sink was covered with a thick coating of dust. It looked as if the cleaning ladies had skipped this room. No water. Alright, the bathroom was used as a dark room. I can't tell, is that like water still in the tub? I can't tell if it's water or dust, but it's partly covering that picture, whatever it is. Doesn't seem to be much of import in here. More photographs. Oh, squirrel. That's a book. What does it say? Housekeeping. The topmost sheet of paper in the pile had some curious markings on it, so I grabbed it to have a closer look. It was a piece of paper with some strange markings, and I was sure that there was more to it than at first seemed clear. Should have checked my inventory. Matches. The stethoscope. Anyhow. A bunch of uninteresting books. Practical photographer. I do wish this game would tell you when you picked up something. I mean, granted, for most people it's probably kind of obvious, but not always. It's a pencil. Okay. I managed to reveal what appeared to be a letter in Italian. I had to do something about it. Yep, that's what I think. When I find a letter that somebody wrote 6 years ago, and I can't understand the language, I'm like, I must do something about it. And actually, that probably is about accurate. if I found a letter in my house. I mean, considering I've lived here for a while, I'd be kind of worried if I suddenly did find a letter in my house. I guess... that little table or whatever it is looks bare. Okay. It's an old-fashioned coffee grinder. Neat. A key holder, except there weren't any keys hanging from it. There's the other door. The door to what I assumed was the basement was locked. Nothing out of place for a kitchen. Is that a pantry or a wall? Don't you hate it when you mistake the light switch for a pantry? I think it's my fault that hotspots seem to be slightly off sometime, because I just realized this game is only supposed to run in a certain resolution, but artifacts of African craftsmanship. But I resized the window slightly to give myself the best possible view, and so that may be throwing things off. Unless everything's supposed to be a little off. Like, the house is just, set kind of off-center. Or when you think something's going to be there, it's actually slightly different. Like in Hill House. Which reminds me, I gotta get around to seeing that new Netflix adaptation. And about 50 other things. Tablecloths, napkins. That certainly isn't my thing. Useless junk. Oh, I don't know. I think it's kind of nice. I guess that's what happens when you don't water the plants for a long time. They die. Wine. I certainly wouldn't have minded trying those expensive wines, except that nobody would have been around to pace me. Besides, if they're really expensive, I guess Jerry technically owns half of them. Anyway, that goes back to that foyer. I think this is a room we haven't been in. It's a painting, not a room. What is this, Mist? I guess I am being a little leisurely when it comes to exploring the house. But, you know, soon we'll start finding elements of the plot and puzzles galore. I wonder which country I shall be visiting first. It was just some boring and annoying book entitled Worlds of Mist. It was certainly no competition to the books I write. A diploma granting the title of construction engineer to James T. Blackwood. Trophies and accomplishments. Collection of books was impressive. You would think that, you writer, you. And I always love it when games either, snipe at their competition or pay homage to their predecessors like that. Yay! It's not that perpetual motion or whatever is broken. It's like, how much friction do these balls have? Or are they just, I don't know. Probably broken. It's an old house. Lots of things are broken. Looks like I picked up another letter. It might be money. Can you get to the bottom drawer? Maybe I'm clicking. There. And it's full of nothing important. Oops. The obligatory journal or something. Let's see. February 6th. The construction of the railway bridge is almost complete, and went quite smoothly. It took longer than I expected, yet I wish it would have lasted longer. I'll be very sad to leave South Africa. I've become so attached to it, its culture, its arts, over the past few months, that I can't help feeling as if it was already a part of me. I will surely return some day, soon, hopefully, although I'm afraid that there is a great deal of work to be taken care of back in Old Britain. Fortunately, I made good friends here who were ecstatic about my new appreciation of their country. Have offered me some wonderful objects as a token of gratitude, which I have already crated and got ready to ship, along with many trinkets I bought myself. It looks like I'm about to start a very substantial collection. It's a good thing Catherine agreed to move to our new home, although I fear several renovations will have to be made, even more if I'm intending to start a serious new hobby. It seems I'll have to get back to work. John Patterson has just told me some natives are causing trouble. A very unfortunate thing, although I'm secretly rejoicing. February 12th. The natives won't leave. It's not like they're causing trouble, so much as they're unsettling our workers. The only complaint so far has been distraction. They just stand still between the trees staring at us without blinking an eye. I've watched them for a few minutes, and they truly seem like some tenebrous statues. At first it was just annoying, but lately it has become downright creepy. They seem to be stalking us. So it's not like they're hindering the construction, but there is a general uneasy feeling, as if they were about to jump at us at any moment. I think I will hire some protection as a measure of precaution. February 15th. Fascinating. I've been looking into these natives. They live in a nearby village and are a very small group, yet they seem to manage quite well. I had thought of them as quite an uncivilized tribe, but their movements are calculated, and one can perceive a sense of careful organization in their tasks. Oddly enough, they seem to be very brutish, and their aspect looks awful, although I couldn't take a good look at their facial features as I followed one of them completely on my own, and it could have been dangerous getting any closer. Also, the village is poor and very rough, but some of the shacks leapt out as inviting or special. It made me very curious. I will try to come closer tomorrow. 16th. My second expedition to the village of the natives has been foiled by an unexpected problem at the bridge. I'm afraid it was due to a slight miscalculation on my part, an indication that I should be focusing more on the task at hand, and put my sudden love for all African things aside for a moment. It was my fault, and I accept it. February 20th. They are at it again, lurking beyond the forest. It's amazing how they have changed our perception of the surroundings. At first, we were delighted by the quiet nature of the place. Now we fear what horrors might be concealed in that dark and foreboding cloak of trees. The tops loom above us, overshadowing the bridge, and strange noises haunt our meals. Even the river, telling ungodly secrets. We could be, of course, a bit more sensitive towards distractions, but I can't help feeling the area has, in fact, become more sinister. And yet I'm still looking forward to satisfying my curiosity about the tribe. February 24th. At last I found something more about the neighboring tribe. This is an incredible finding, and I just can't withhold my excitement. Some elders at the local town happen to know about them, but only through stories they heard. The most surprising thing is that the tribe was assumed to be extinct long ago, but according to my vague description, the elders think that we could be dealing with a legend here. Everything they ever learned of them was during their childhood, when the tribe was stalking the town, much in the same way they have been stalking us. People used to call them Thom? I think that's a D. Dom? As such was the sound of screams heard echoing late in the night. They came out into the streets. They'd come out into the streets and see an evil glitter atop a hill in the distance. Some would say it was a fire, others the cursed spirit of an ancient god. Whatever it was, they say the bright light and those fantastic screams was bone-chilling. The macabre scene would suddenly stop just as it had begun, out of nowhere, never to be seen again in days to come. Intervals between those horrible nights became longer and longer until they soon faded into oblivion. The tribe apparently had retreated back into obscurity, until now. They were later known as the Dalmar, a rather more scientific name, although none of the people I spoke with could possibly remember its origin. I found it extremely surprising that nobody had ever heard about this tribe, with the exception of a few townspeople. They must be incredibly rare, and judging by the stories passed on from generations in the town, very old. February 27th. I will confess that I have become nearly obsessed with this strange tribe. I see them as the most prized goal of my appreciation towards all South African things, a dangerous yet irresistible reward. I feel as if they were my discovery. I simply have to study them before leaving. I fear I won't have the chance to ever again. It has become an important goal of mine, even more important than finishing the bridge. March 4th. Finally, I've managed to see them. My God, what a disturbing spectacle. When we arrived, they were moving around the village very slowly, without speaking or communicating with each other, each minding his or her own business, completely alien to the rest of the world. They were filthy-looking, coarse, and downright disgusting. I couldn't see any weapons. Excuse me. But they could have been stored somewhere. It was all very strange behavior in a tribe. They must be quite unique. Then, as if they had suddenly all become possessed by some wild spirit, they began shaking spasmodically and screaming like mad. Some of them dropped to their knees and lifted their heads to the sky, eyes blank, and moaning in an indescribable way. 2 of them walked away, still in that monotonous and slow manner, and in great contrast to the rest of the scene, into a shack. The next minute they brought out into the open an odd-looking mask. Its shapes, colors, and overall looks, while unsettling, were mesmerizing, and I felt instantly hypnotized by it. It rendered my modest collection of African curiosities into dull and uninteresting items. The mask was very ominous, and the whole tribe seemed to greatly revere it. Soon they began to gather around it and move in circles, fluttering and chanting a guttural psalm. Judging by their motions and the aspect of the whole ritual, it must have been some kind of war ritual. I am not sure how to explain what happened next, as I feel my pulse already throbbing. Words fail me to recount the most disturbing thing I've ever witnessed. One of the male villagers walked into the middle, near the mask, by his own will. It was an almost automatic act. All of a sudden, the remaining members became silent. I can't tell for how long it lasted, but I was afraid to breathe. I think Dalby and the others were also scared. They wouldn't even blink. I remember being soaked wet and expectant. The silence was so unnatural. Then a few members separated from the people, circling the mask, and jumped on the single villager, beating him to death. To be completely faithful to the event, the small crowd tore him apart. They grabbed his legs in 2s and 3s and twisted them in a manner I dare not describe. His face was disfigured with their bare fingernails and teeth, and the torso soon disappeared under the frenzied tangle of hands. In a matter of a few minutes, the villager was turned into a red sack of bones. Not one of the attackers had the compassion to snap his neck. During the sickening process, all was very methodical, as if it was just another mundane task. The most terrifying aspect, though, was that the victim didn't even cringe. The silence was so deep I could hear his flesh ripping. I would expect any living creature to scream its guts out in such a condition. I can't tell whether he was drugged or half asleep, but I did recognize him dancing like everybody else before walking into the middle of the circle. It was the most outrageous and sadistic sacrifice I've ever heard of. I don't think I will ever forget what I saw. My intentions of approaching further, even if they didn't have any weapons at hand, vanished. These creatures, I dare not call them human beings, could have killed my whole company in the blink of an eye with their rage. They seemed to be completely out of themselves and willing to destroy anything intruding into their path. While the images of the sacrifice still haunt my thoughts, I still can't seem to forget that mask. It was so deceptively simple and yet perfect in design. I haven't seen anything like it. I surely would love to take a better look. I feel the Dalmar, dangerous as they are, could be the most important ethnical finding in decades. What I've seen today is crying for some further investigation. I just can't leave them like that. I would never forgive myself. And the mask. That mask. And the rest of the pages are torn out. Probably left somewhere else in the house. I was ecstatic after reading the journal. The material was incredible. Yep. Looks like I may have just found my next bestseller. Or the basis for it. A locked drawer. Did I open the top drawer here? Oh yes, I did look at that. There's that gallery of African-themed artifacts upstairs. I think we'll have to go take a look around there eventually. How on earth? Oh. Is that a candelabra? Oh, now I see it. Sorry, candlestick holder. The glass was empty. Pity. I could have used a drink. I could hear whoever was playing the game drinking a glass of wine, and I thought again of those expensive wines in the next room. Jerry would never forgive me if I opened one without sharing it with him. More uninteresting books. Thing in the fireplace? No. Cold to the touch. Let's see. Is that another table over there? It's just a map of the world. There. What have we here? Smoking can kill you, especially when the cigars are decades old. Well, I don't know. Aren't you supposed to age cigars? Like wine? Yeah, I have no idea what I'm talking about. This door leads to... I hear the clock. Okay, there's the front door. The fireplace had a glorious amount of wood in it, and I was relieved to know that I could warm the place up in case it got cold. I'm certainly not good at chopping trees. Just more furniture and pictures. It looked as if an untidy person enjoyed reading in the living room. Another diary. Oh, hey, is it Artyom Havoc? Thanks so much for lurking. I appreciate your coming by. I just saw that. I realized my text-to-speech doesn't read alerts. I'll have to figure out a way to enable that. Really, thanks for checking out the Scratches stream. Another long diary. Well, at least it'll be interesting.
Artyom Havoc. No worries, happy to be here.
Oh, thanks. I really appreciate it. How's your day going, Havoc?
Artyom Havoc. It's going great. Artyom Havoc. Yours.
Oh, it's going all right, thanks. Took me a while to figure out how to get everything set up and working, but having a pretty good day, and I'm enjoying playing Scratches again. It really is a fun game, and I've been meaning to replay it and then get to the DLC or add-on, whatever you call it. I'll come back and read that diary later, since we did just read a long wall of text. Oh, that's right, I forgot. Yes, everybody should go check out Havoc. Yeah, it's an awkward angle at typing. I've got my laptop up incredibly high so that I can see the screen better. I had always wanted to be a pianist, but eventually found another use for my fingers. Let's see, is there something we can do with the piano? Suppose not. Here. I think, is there someone we're supposed to call? Letter written in Italian. Can we put it in the envelope? Who should I have mailed it to? Oh, and that's right, I forgot this game has a journal of notes. If we find all these journals in the house, we might as well make one of our own. Oops. The electrician will be on his way, right? I wonder if they had the word glitch back then, because this is... I think it's set in the 70s or maybe 80s? The family disappeared in the 60s, and then the doctor lived here for 5 years. And he's been gone for 6 years. And neither the National Trust nor the cleaning ladies have moved any of the books the doctor touched because they were contaminated. or something like that. Memories. Right, Blackwood was really into African culture, so we'll have to check out that gallery upstairs. Wanted to. I don't think we know who Barbara is other than we found her number in our suitcase.
Hello, Arthate Productions.
Arthate Productions? What in heaven's name was that?
Oh, hi, boss. I was just fooling around.
Well, don't. I don't want people thinking I'm some kind of studio. And don't call me boss.
I'm sorry, it's just that no one was calling and all of a sudden I got excited.
I told you it was going to be that way, girl. But I still need you there. I just hope you're not being bored to death.
Oh, don't worry. I'm studying tongues during my spare time. I love that so much.
That's great, but don't lower your guard. As soon as I publish my new book, that place is going to get riddled with phone calls and hundreds of fan mail.
That's the spirit, boss.
I'm
I
getting
know your new
confident
book's going to be a
in this
huge
house.
success.
Of course it will. As soon as I find a proper ending. And stop calling me boss.
As you wish, boss. Oh, sorry.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Good luck.
Oh dear, we've got to find Jerry's number. It's there. I think I remember. Does Barbara help us translate the letter?
Hello?
Hey, it's me, Bobby dear. I need to ask you a favor.
Bring it on.
I found a letter here, and I'm curious about it. It's in Italian. Do you think you could translate it for me?
My, Mr. Athwaite, are we being naughty?
Mrs. Styles.
Yes, of course I can. Just send me the letter and I'll put hands to work as soon as I have it here.
Excellent. I wonder if the postman will come by. I feel like I'm the last person alive on the whole planet here.
But have you told the post office in Rothbury that you're moving to Blackwood Manor?
Yes, Jerry did. I just hope they don't forget about me, that's all. In any case, thank you. You're such a dear.
That's what I'm here for.
Actually, that's what I'm paying you for. Anyway, I'll go and try mailing that letter.
I'll be standing by for action.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Good luck.
Yes. Italian letter. I need help translating it. I didn't think that was a naughty line. Now, if it was a French letter, that would be a different matter entirely. There we are. Has somebody just been at the front gate? I went to the front gate just as Jerry had instructed, but there was no sign of the electrician. I don't think Jerry told us when the electrician was coming by. Even if I wanted to leave, I could not do so on foot. There's the mailbox. Yes, there. Just taking the postman, I guess, reaches through. Ooh, we just got a letter. I wonder who it's from. Mr. Arthate, Mr. Carter sent me here today to fix a power problem in your residence. I was told to meet you at the gate, but I've been waiting a few minutes, and I still haven't seen any signs of you. I will wait some more and then leave. Please contact Mr. Carter as soon as possible. Guess I spent too long wandering around my new house. Oh, look, it lights up when it's in the right place. That's really useful. Oh. I'm guessing we're supposed to address the letter. Tedious, but that's realism for you. I don't like it when you put letters without addresses in the mail. Let's see if Jerry can tell us about that electrician. You know, I might go ahead and save. Just because it's a good thing to do, even when you can't die. Oh, they don't let you write funny titles for your save games. How very droll of them. I still don't know Jerry's number. Let's see. What do we have? Yeah, what's that? A boring tool. I would have thought in this house I would find some exciting tools, but alas, that wasn't to be the case. I amused myself, talking as I walked through the empty house. I wonder if the previous owners did too. Let's see if... Wait, which room is mine? This one. See if Jerry's phone number is in his letter. That might be a little too easy. There we are. You would think I would have put his phone number in my phone book, but probably in all the excitement of moving and trying to write bestsellers. Oops. Did I just... Oh, I went back upstairs. Jerry, a word.
electrician missed me. He left a note in the mailbox.
Bloody hell! He was supposed to meet you at the gates early this morning. I thought he was just being late.
Damn, but I must have missed him for a few minutes. What the heck am I supposed to do now?
Why don't you go check the fuses yourself? Maybe it isn't that serious.
I don't know. I'm not very good with that kind of thing.
Michael, even my grandmother could improvise a fuse. Just go and look, and let me know if you see anything burned.
As in black spots?
Yes, black spots.
All right, I'm on it.
I do like the voice actors in this game. Sometimes they're sound a little bit restrained, but I think it fits. Fuse box. Where's the fuse box? Is it outside? I feel like it's either outside or in the basement. And of course the basement's locked. Yeah, just a grating. It'd be more likely by the back door. Anything that could reasonably be called a fuse box here. Not such as I can see. Been through here. Yes, this is a dark room. No. didn't. None of these are the cellar key, are they? No, that's the house key and car key. Yes. Just a little table. We could either. I mean, I haven't really thoroughly searched the house yet looking for the cellar key, so... it might be worthwhile. Alright, and then there's the third floor. A nice big house, plenty of rooms. Find our way around. That's seldom a good thing. Well, all I can say is, good thing we saved. Yes, sorry about that. I'll have it up and running again in one moment. Right, I've got to resize it every time I open it. Sorry, it is annoyingly difficult to resize, but I've got to position it right. Be right about there. before we called Jerry that I saved. Well, good thing we know where to look. Yep. Yeah, sorry about that, guys, but crashes happen. You know what they say. Lord, what pills computers be. I think it was Shakespeare who said that. Yeah, Shakespeare on computers. I did it. It didn't show his... business card this time? Ah, there. I'm hoping that was a one-time bug. Oh, I got something.
Artyom Havoc. Oh boy. My eyes are closing, ID gotta call it a night. Thanks for streaming. Catch you again soon.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you so much for coming in, Havoc, and I totally understand. This game is a little bit soporific. I'm sure in subsequent days it'll get a lot scarier. But thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming in, and everybody please do follow Havoc. I look forward to seeing your next stream.
Artyom Havoc.
Cheers. Yeah. The bathroom was getting positively non-Euclidean. Whenever I tried to look at something, it was behind me, and I didn't dare click the towel by the door. It might destroy the very fabric of my world. And yet I was a horror writer. Didn't I want to have the fabric of my world destroyed? I think that would help my books sell. Oops. Before we go give Jerry an earful, I want to have a look in. Oh wait, this room. The room that tells us we missed something every time we walk out of it. Shut up about the bed. I'm trying to open things here. Guy's obsessed with going to sleep or something. I must have been tired. Everywhere I looked, all I could see was bed, bed, bed. And the occasional Pomeranian. Have we been through these drawers before? Nada y pues nada. Yeah, well, you can keep on missing it. The lamp seemed to be broken beyond repair. These are all of the artifacts Blackwood brought back from his time in South Africa. A pair of huge carved tusks are occupying a corner of the gallery. The display case is holding perhaps the most impressive items in the room. Seem to have some kind of panel. There. Oh, it's stuck. Just a rag. Nothing that's going to be much use to move that. Vases. Guess it won't let us really examine those closer. Something that looked like a lion's claw was firmly attached to the necklace. Nice art in this game. I suspect. All those masks, they made me feel very uneasy. They seemed to be guarding the room. That's just an empty spot. Is that another? One mask missing anyhow. There doesn't seem to be much for us to do in here. Over here. Just more set dressing.
electrician missed me. He left a note in the mailbox.
Bloody hell. He was supposed to meet you at the gates early this morning. I thought he was just being late.
Damn, then I must have missed him for a few minutes. What the heck am I supposed to do now?
Why don't you go check the fuses yourself? Maybe it isn't that serious.
I don't know. I'm not very good with that kind of thing.
Michael, even my grandmother could improvise a fuse. Just go and look.
Improvise a fuse? I don't know about that.
As in black spots?
Yes, black spots.
All right, I'm on it.
Put a penny in a burned out fuse. I wonder if Jerry will give us a hint about where the fuse box is, though.
Hello?
Jerry, it's me.
What's up, Michael?
Do you know anything about the previous inhabitants of this house?
Not much. Just there were some strange individuals. There's also the murder.
You're kidding me. A murder?
An old-fashioned murder.
Michael's excited.
Probably love the details, but sadly I don't know very much. It's old history, really. Although it caused quite a stir there in Rothbury. It seems the owner, James Blackwood, I think, went mad and killed his wife. I do remember the date, though. May 1963.
James Blackwood, according to the stuff I've been reading.
So you're already turning the place upside down? I should have thought so.
There's enough material for a whole series of stories here, you know.
After you finish your book, my friend.
Yeah, but it can never hurt poking around a little.
Would you just get back to work? Call me if you need anything.
All right, goodbye.
There was enough material for an entire series in that house, and it made me wonder, when was Nucleosis going to make a sequel to Scratches? Or another game in general? Hadn't they been promising us one for some years now? Right back where we started. I'm trying to find the fuse box or the cellar key. Hard to tell if it's gotten darker. The screen seems a bit dark for me anyway. A pair of lamps at the front door. Peculiar sort of dead end to the walk there. Oh no, that's the walk. I haven't really looked outside because there's no reason the fuse box would be out here. We can just see where this path leads. Is that the way we came? Greenhouse. Serious rusting. Back we go. I'm getting thoroughly disoriented. Oh wait, there's the house. massive double doors leading to the interior of the chapel were locked. I wonder if I'm overlooking the fuse box. I'll check out the back door. Maybe go a little further afield. Easily get lost. Am I not allowed to go there? Oh wait, I'm back by this little trellis, or whatever the technical term is. Let me see if I saw something down here. No. Huh. Wait. And I thought I was getting somewhere. crafting tool. I wonder if that could be used as a lockpick. Afraid not. Right, an empty key ring. I swear there's some puzzle involving that key ring, but I can't remember what it is. Maybe now that we've tried the cellar again, Jerry will tell us where the fuse box is, or the key to the cellar. Jerry. Yeah, tell you what, I'm just going to check out a walkthrough. Because otherwise we could be here all night. Sorry guys, we're back on track. Wrong. Well, the fuse box is in the cellar. There's a photograph in here we have to find. And I didn't find it. There. Totally would have missed that. Don't know how I found it the first time I played this. We'll observe the key ring, a key, and a pot. One of those cleaning ladies must have moved the pot. I suppose that is a little bit far-fetched. Yeah. The maid who was here from a long time ago decided to take a picture of that section of the wall. And however long it's been, the key is still in the pot. Either up in the gallery or over here. There. Is that not the same pot? Okay, now we can see it. And I think I shall save real quick, just in case. It was terribly cold and damp in the basement. I resolved to get a dehumidifier out here first thing tomorrow. Well, after I got electricity. The interior of the furnace was as dark as the mouth of a wolf. In any case, I didn't want to spend too much time near it. There was a huge furnace covering most of the east wall. I didn't understand why, but I began to feel terribly uneasy. It had a menacing look to it. The atmosphere was dense and claustrophobic. There's a drain cover in the concrete. valve was stuck and would not budge. Is that it? So a fuse box, that's an ordinary box. There seemed to be an occasional distant noise. Can't tell if I'm hearing something or if that's just part of the background music, whatever it is. It was very cold. I felt a very cold breeze on the back of my neck, and I realized I wanted to leave the basement as soon as possible. It's not. Is that a fuse box? Aha. Yeah, that ought to do nothing. There appears to be nothing wrong with the fuses. Cook's conducted tours. Remember, if we looked in here. Nice. Anyway, we'll ransack the kitchen for food later. We need to call Jerry. Because if there's one thing I did not see, it was black spots.
Jerry, all the fuses seem to be fine. I think the problem might be a little more complicated than that.
I see.
What should we do now?
Go get some candles.
You're joking, right?
No, I'm not. I'm calling this guy right away, and I'm afraid he won't be able to stop by until tomorrow. He was already driving there today as a personal favor.
There must be something you can do. I don't feel comfortable walking around this place with dim lights. I barely know it.
Michael, come on. Where's your sense of adventure? It would be like you were living in a past century. Exquisite Victorian house, lit by candles. What I wouldn't give to be in your place.
I left my sense of adventuring back in London, thanks. I have work to do.
you asked for. Now you have the chance to experience firsthand one of your period pieces.
Oh, very funny. Try getting that guy over here as soon as possible.
Don't worry, I will. Make sure you find some candles before it gets too dark.
Yes, candles. Bye.
Yes. We're not particularly pleased with Jerry's electrician friend right now. Ah, yes, there was that other diary we're going to go back and read, wasn't there? Is it in this room or the other one? Oh no, these were the uninteresting books. I think it was on the desk. It'll teach me to think I'll remember where items are. Oh no, this was the same diary we did read. I mean, I was right. There was a diary on the... Alright. On the desk. Yeah. I could have sworn it wasn't the downstairs. No, I think it was, maybe it was by the piano. It was all gibberish to me. I wondered how long that cup of coffee had been sitting there. Okay. Oh. It was just lying there, and oh well. Anyway. April 30th. During a fit of rage, I burnt my precious diary. Not that I regret it, as it only as if my disjointed notes were worth anything. Their only purpose was to keep me sane. I feel that this is my escape route, my only means of functioning, of finding some inner peace whenever I put my pen to this paper. I feel that I can reflect upon my situation. I just wish I had more options, that's all. But I'm rambling. I must think clearly. Focus. May 12th. I've become an eternal guardian, stuck between few choices, none of which are good. Do I fulfill a promise and violate everything? Excuse me. And violate everything that I believe in, the very principles of my life? Or am I condemned to spend the rest of my existence in this deadened state, as a ghost with no other purpose than just being here, watching? I truly have no escape. I can't find an appropriate solution to this problem, and I must pay the price. I'm a shadow of the man I used to be. Only these notes remain, my testament in these moments of meditation, my sole companion. June 26th. Today I spent the entire afternoon staring at the window, my mind a blank. Oddly enough, I really didn't care. It seems now as though it was something natural for me, a part of my personality. But I know the reason very well. I've lost my soul. I'm an empty shell, devoid of any feelings. I removed them on that fateful day, and the worst thing is I knew there were going to be consequences. No, that's not true. Consequences were far worse than I expected. How could I be so blind? January 23rd, or 25th. I often wonder what would have happened if we had simply reversed it all. What would happen if right now I come out and told the world what really happened? No, I'd just end up rotting in jail. Although that might be better. A better destiny compared to this eternal suffering. November 17th. I can't say for sure when it began. I just heard them one morning, coming from the next room. The whispers. Are they real? Have I been alone for too long? They won't stop. I can't stand it any longer. February 9th. Ever since I locked it away that evening. Ever since I locked it away, that everything seems to have calmed down a bit. Perhaps James was right after all. It's madness, I know, but at this point, I'd be inclined to believe anything. May. Over the years, I was convinced that everything James suffered was... Excuse me, I'm getting tired. Over the years, I was convinced that everything James suffered was a misfortune, a whim of destiny. For the first time ever, I'm not so sure anymore. I never thought it would happen, but I believe I understand now. If this is so, then cursed be my soul. Poor James. If I'd acted in another way, then maybe things would have worked out differently. But it's too late now, and I have to suffer my Calvary. September 13th. The noises are back, although this time they're different. Before, I'd only hear them inside my head, as if someone or something was whispering and how to put this, interrupting my thoughts. But now, I can really feel them spreading around the house. What are they? September 14th. I've realized The noises are coming from down there. I don't want to think about it anymore. December. They are unbearable. They get worse at night. Oh, how I wish it would stop. What is going on down there? I don't dare go nearer. I don't want to know. Monday, or March, May. God, how many years have passed? I have lost all sense of time. I have to get out of this place. The diary disturbed me in a way I couldn't explain, but I felt curious about what had been tormenting that poor fellow. I'm guessing that's the doctor who owned the house after Blackwell died or vanished. I don't think it told us the doctor's name. Anyhow, I mean, we've searched fairly thoroughly on the first 2 floors, and I've seen no candles, only candelabras. Which leaves up here. The door seemed to be stuck. Aren't they always? The amount of trash in this room was unbelievable. I didn't even want to imagine the piles of rubbish that were inside those boxes. I swore that I would scream if I saw another brick. A neat little stove standing on a plank. I wonder what we're supposed to do with it. I imagine it'll come in handy eventually. Most of the planks scattered throughout the 3rd floor were all dry and brittle by now. The upper bathroom would have been beautiful under different conditions, but in its current state it was sad and depressing. Is that... Not certain what that was. Oh, we're back in the hallway. Small metal rod. I'm sure it's useful to become apparent in time. fix this up. There. Thank you. Sorry, chaps, this game is being temperamental. There. A useless array of random items of every imaginable size and color occupied all the corners of the attic. Ooh, a bird cage. But where's the bird? I looked for the date that Jerry told me and found an interesting article. The journal, May 25th, 1963. Terrible news shocks the community of Rothbury. Mr. James Blackwood, distinguished resident of the town and widely acknowledged construction engineer, was accused of murder yesterday by Miss Ava Mariani, maid of the Blackwood family. While the nature of the situation is of the most unusual, given that Mr. Blackwood is a highly respected gentleman, Miss Mariani, an Italian immigrant and aspiring photographer, affirms to have a photograph that supports this accusation. "I knew no one would ever believe me, so I took a picture of him," she says. "I was supposed to be in town during the afternoon, but I didn't have the need to. I didn't have any errands to do. So I was in my room and saw this shadow out in the garden. When I glanced through the window, I just couldn't believe my eyes. The lady. Oh God, the sole thought of it sends shivers down my spine." The photograph in question is in possession of the authorities, and it has revealed that it clearly shows Mr. Blackwood burying a shape in his garden. "We can almost confirm that the shape is a body," says Police Chief William Bailey. "But even if the image is not clear, this alone, with Miss Mariani's statement, is enough to open a serious case against Mr. Blackwood. Police officers are already heading to Blackwood Manor as we speak." Up until this accusation, it was believed that Mrs. Catherine Blackwood was on a trip. According to the information we received from the school where she teaches, the police chief confirms, a notice was sent to the teachers' department which stated that Mrs. Blackwood had to leave on a sudden trip, and that she would make use of her license to do so. Miss Mariani's accusation puts Mr. Blackwood in a very compromising situation. Even if we can't find anything in the garden, he has a lot of explaining to do. The efforts of Dr. Christopher Milton, one of Rothbury's most respected doctors and longtime friend of the Blackwood family, to examine the facts have been unsuccessful, and the news is the subject of discussion throughout the whole town. Hundreds of rumors are crossing the land. Theories range from plausible and well-conceived to wild and crackpot ideas. But the question that keeps lingering in everybody's mind, for which the answer has yet to be found, is, why would a wealthy and educated man cold-heartedly murder his wife after 30 years of marriage? I wonder if that's like a convention of English newspapers, or used to be, that they would capitalize the last name. I must confess I have not read that many British newspapers that are 40 or 50 years old, or indeed that many in general. I decided to stop looking for candles. It was evident that there were none to be found. I do appreciate him telling us that. But what have we? I feel like I say "what have we here" entirely too much when I play adventure games. An old-fashioned lamp made me think of exciting adventures I'd always dreamed of going on. Yeah, that it makes you think of exciting adventures, but not, I don't know, light? When you got no electricity, no candles, and it's gonna get dark? Riders, man, I'm telling you. They ain't normal. A sinister presence lurking in the shadows. No, I'm not going to hang about here anymore. What is this? An enigmatic box. Ooh, Victrola. Actually, I'm not sure if that is a Victrola or just a... well, unimportant, whatever it is. Much more is there to this third floor? More bricks. More like cinder blocks. Anyway. Door is locked, but I could see a key on the other side through the keyhole. Wonder if I could push the key out. Wait. I saw this in an episode of Murder, She Wrote, so I know it must be real. There's nothing I can stick under the door to catch the key. Can I just open the lock? I wonder what classifies a box as interesting. There's some boxes that need to go to recycling. I wonder if any of them are interesting. A large crack in one of the walls. And old rusty lamps. Didn't think so. Okay, I mean, he said that we've finished. He decided to stop looking for candles. So I guess we should go back and make another call. But where am I? I'm on the staircase again, sorry. But I just had a thought. There are those newspapers, and if I stick one of those under the door and then use the boring tool, I should be able to push the key out. You are one of the most badly behaved cursors I have ever met. Newspapers. Just take one. Plotovision says no. Nothing else on this floor that I can think of, so. Oh yeah, it's getting dark. Just see if I can adjust the gamma before I play this again.
Jerry, I'm freaking out. I couldn't find a single candle inside this place.
You're kidding me. I can't believe it. Did you look well?
Yes, every single room, drawer, box, cabinet, nothing. No candles.
Oh yeah, all the boxes that I never opened.
The town isn't too far away. No more than 20 minutes drive. If you can't find some candles there, I'll eat my hat.
You'll eat your whole closet. This is getting on my nerves.
Come on. It's just a quick ride. You know how to get there?
Yeah, I saw it on my way here. Did you call Mr. Busy Electrician who couldn't hold on for just 5 more minutes?
Yes, he'll be doing me another
Snarky,
special
Michael.
favor, and we'll be going there tomorrow afternoon. It's the best he can do. You have to bear in mind it's Sunday. We'll charge extra, of course.
I don't care. I have no power. I'll get him myself if he doesn't show up.
Calm down. Drive to the town before it gets too dark. You won't be able to find your way back if it does.
Yeah, I had to buy some food anyway.
There you go. Godspeed. And drive safe.
All right.
Oh, come on, Michael. What about all those adventures you always wanted to have with oil lamps and things? Hey, at least he can write without a typewriter. I mean, without power, because he's got a typewriter. Very useful. I should get one for when the snow knocks out the power in winter. Except then I'd have to do more work. You know what, never mind. Oops. The car would not start. It was only then that I realized I had left the lights on. Now, I don't personally drive or use cars, but I think I've read that that's something you're not supposed to do. Because it's bad for the car over time. Or the battery dies. Yeah, well, might as well leave the key in the ignition, not like anyone's gonna steal it. Let's see if we can blame the electrician for this one too. I mean, if he'd waited for us and we'd met him, we probably would have noticed our lights were on. At the very least, we'd have power.
Let me guess. Michael.
Jerry, you won't believe this. It's insane. My car is dead.
What? Are you sure? Have you checked its pulse?
I'm not joking. It's gone.
Jerry.
My friend, this completely redefines the term suspension of disbelief you sometimes use for your stories.
I know. I'm speechless. I
Hang a
forgot
flag
the
on
lights
it.
on. The car ran out of batteries. All because of that bloody fog. Jerry, you've got to help me. Get over here.
Michael, look at the time. I can't drive to Northumberland right now.
But, Jerry, I can't spend the whole night without one single source of light. I barely know this place, and I won't be able to find my way. Heck, I don't even know if it's rid of ghosts yet.
Are you a sleepwalker, Michael? You lie down on the bed, you sleep, you wake up, and you'll have tons of bright light then.
That's not helping. And you're the one who got me into this mess in the first place.
Hold on a minute. It's not my fault if the electrician missed you for a few minutes, there aren't any candles in a 3-story mansion, and your car's battery was low.
Okay, listen. When will you be coming back to Rothbury?
I'll be arriving home early tomorrow morning, and I'll come for you shortly after. We'll drive to town, stock yourself up, and then spend the rest of the day in your garden, drinking some beers while we wait for Mr. Electrician. Sounds like a plan?
Yeah, I guess. And I don't think there's any plan B either.
I'm afraid not. Sorry. I really took all the precautions to make your stay there as comfortable as possible, but I guess sometimes things are just meant to go wrong.
Apparently. All right. I'll be on my way then.
Call me back if you need anything. And Michael,
Yes,
just don't let this situation get on your nerves.
I promise it won't. Goodbye.
Considering that the electrician is doing this as a personal favor to Jerry, it's odd that Jerry's taken to calling him Mr. Electrician. Oh, well, that's his canonical name from now on. Do I just go to bed? There's enough light to do some work. It was getting late. Okay, yep. Looking around a bit more wouldn't hurt. But I just said that I was tired. I know there's a secret ending in this game where if you, write, work on your book at certain times, either you go insane or something happens. But I've never tried to find it. I laid down on the bed. There's something. Someone came a-knocking at my wee small door. Why is it so dark? Wait. Oops. Is that weird? It isn't it? Right, it's gone, and there's a hammer. I was awakened from my strange dream by some odd noises reverberating around the room. Sound like it whispered Michael right before I woke up. The noises seemed to grow louder as I approached the fireplace. The stones in the fireplace were cold to the touch. Oh, hey. Deface Sites? Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. How are you doing today? And please tell me if I'm not pronouncing your name right. I listened carefully as I moved the stethoscope around the fireplace. Yes, the noises were coming from there, but I still couldn't determine their source. I don't know. I could determine their source just from listening there. Oops. Other fireplaces downstairs. Thank goodness Dr. Milton left his stethoscope here when he vanished. The noises were definitely spreading from the fireplace, probably with some conduit. I conceived they had to be coming from below. Still in my inventory. Another fireplace in here, and then the furnace down below. Oddly enough, I couldn't hear anything in that fireplace. The stones in the fire... There you go. Still cold to the touch. I think if I were in this situation, I would be a little more cautious of the mysterious scratching sounds in a creepy old house I just moved into in which a murder had been committed. Yeah, but that's just me. I thought about investigating, but then I realized the basement would be pitch black at this time. I couldn't go down there without some light. See if it has oil. No such luck. Or can I use my matches? I'm no pyromaniac. Lord, it's dark. I don't think we've seen any oil, except for that small camping stove in the attic, and I don't know that used liquid fuel. Just as they had begun out of nowhere, the scratching noises stopped. Perhaps I can get some sleep now, if I don't have any more nightmares. The scratches had stopped, and I thought that it was the right moment for me to go back to sleep. We'll save briefly. Nope. went back to bed. Sunday, October 13th. The second day, a fierce storm had assaulted the land. I could hear the trees creaking, or rain pounding, to the lashing of the rain.
Is now hosting you for 556 viewers.
Oh, wow! Thank you so much. I very much appreciate that. Thank you to Facesites, and welcome everyone. I'm a Purblind Gamer. I'm a variety/retro streamer who's just starting out, and we're just playing the horror game Scratches, which is a pretty fun adventure game. Yes, I've been streaming a while, but I'm going to play a little while longer. We've just woken up on the second day of our... We're playing a horror writer who has just moved into this old house he bought, and there's no power and no candles, and there was a murder committed here. And he had a nightmare, and then woke up to a mysterious scratching sound in the fireplaces. We're going to see what we can get into today. Notes. I woke coldly to a fierce thunderstorm. The rain is heavy and I can hardly make out the garden. I don't recall ever seeing something like this. It looks like I'll be stranded inside the house for the whole day. Also, I had an interesting dream yesterday. Something was luring me to a hidden door in the gallery. I should look into this, just in case it's meaningful. Yes, the game's having a little trouble figuring out what we're pointing at. Oops. Give Jerry, our friend, a call. Friend/realtor. I bet that's him calling back.
Hello?
Michael, how are you doing over there? The sky is falling here.
You mean this storm has hit there too? Seems the entire universe is falling here. I'm afraid to go outside.
Well, the better then, as I won't be able to come for you. I'm deeply sorry, but it's seemingly impossible driving to Northumberland. Even less getting anywhere near the manor. I understand many of the roads are closed.
So much for my hopes of seeing Mr. Electrician today, then. Ah, the benefits of being away from society, eh? I should have listened to you.
Don't panic. I'll come right for you as soon as this thing is over. You just hang on in there.
It's not like I have any other choice, do I?
I'm afraid not, my friend. This storm has the power to disturb the dead.
Well, it seemed like this very same storm
Ominous.
has awakened the evil spirits resting inside my new home.
What's that?
Not sure, but I happened to hear some odd sounds last night. Kind of scratching noises down in the basement.
I do remember the cleaning ladies saying something about